Hi everyone, my name is Ricardo Cvitish. Let me just introduce myself first. I am a violin and viola player. I graduated at the Royal College of Music back in the 90s, and I went on to play with some of the biggest international orchestras, such as BBC, Symphony, Philharmonia. I became a member of the Academy of St. Martin de Fields, playing with Sir Neville Mariner, and Anyway, I also did a lot of teaching, and I still do, mostly on the violin, because viola is not as popular as the violin. And I do have some piano skills. So today I want to introduce you and make a short review, as short as possible, of a piano course called Pianoforall, which I found very, very interesting. This course is designed for beginners up to, let's say, grade 5 or 6 ABRSM. For those who are not familiar with ABRSM, it's an examination board in the UK, which goes from grade 1 to grade 8. And it has various syllabus, 8 different syllabus, and it has 3 sections. One is for Baroque music and classical, the second section is for romantic music, and the third section is for 20th century music, jazz, pop, and world music. So this course, Pianoforall, is basically placed on the third category of ABRSM, the pop and jazz and world music, because it virtually tackles mostly the pop and jazz side of music, including improvisation, which I love. As a teacher, I've always encouraged my students to improvise as much as possible, rather than just stay stuck on reading music sheet, music notation. So I really, really like Robin's approach. Robin Hall, he is a piano teacher himself, and he devised this set of 9 eBooks called Pianoforall. The first one is Party Time. So basically, you've got the main screen here, and here on the sidebar. Here on the sidebar, you've got all the sections. That's the cover, and then there's a welcome message, and then he explains the process. That's the structure of his course. So it's basically it's like a pyramid. The basic, the blues, basic chords, and everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the second layer is 5, 6, 7, and 8. He includes classical and some sight reading, and the last section is speed learning. It's basically speed learning is learning scales, and then it just gives another brief introduction of his approach, and there is a video. That's the first video. So in the first video, he explains basically how the keyboard works. He shows the geography of the keyboard, the relation between black and white keys. I think it's best if I just play the video for you to see.
Step 1. Getting to know the keyboard. First of all, make sure you've got where middle C is. So in this piano I've marked it with a red arrow, but actually the middle of the keyboard is here. So middle C is to the left, so it should be somewhere around the middle of your keyboard, maybe slightly to the left. Now notice how the pattern of the keys repeats itself. So you've got 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. So actually these notes from here to here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they're repeated at various pitches. So those notes are exactly the same as these notes, exactly the same as those, exactly the same as those, but at different pitches. So I'll show you what that means. So let's find a C note. That's the note before the 2 black keys. So So before the two black keys, that's another C note. And again, another C note. And another C note. And another C note. So they're all exactly the same note. C, 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 but at different pitches. What that means is you're singing the same note, but imagine Mickey Mouse singing this note. And imagine Pavarotti, some tenor opera singer, singing that note. And then somebody else singing that one. And that one. So it's the same note, but it's just at different pitches.
That's when he introduces chord progressions in a very interesting way. And with this chord progression that he introduces in the very first lesson, you can actually play an enormous amount of songs. Let me just play the video.
The key to playing piano instantly: chords. A chord is simply 3 or more particular notes. So a note is just, a melody line might be. A chord is 3 notes played together. Make a full sound, an overall sound. 3 or more. Not single. So now we're going to play a very familiar chord sequence using 4 simple chords. Again, don't worry about why a chord is the shape it is, why it's a major, why it's a minor. Just play. Play first, ask questions later. Think about how people learn guitar. They learn chords, they learn rhythms, learn how to strum, they learn shapes. They don't worry about why it's a shape on the piano, why it's a certain string or whatever. They just learn the shape and then they strum, and that's it. They're playing guitar. Treat the piano the same to begin with. So the 4 chords are C, A minor, F, and G. Remember, play the 3 notes of each chord together at the same time. So find C, then add those, jump over that one, jump over that one. 1, 3, and 5. Put your hand like a claw. Then lock your fingers so you can almost lift them up and put them back down again. And move everything 2 notes left. That's down to A minor. Alright, alphabet C, B, A. Right, 2 left again. That's on to F. Alright, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, remember? And then 1 up to G. So it starts at C, 2 left, A minor, 2 left, F, 1 up to G. Just keep repeating that until you get used to it.
Forward 5 books. We're in book number 5, the ballad style, and in this book he presents some really beautiful chord progressions. As I said before, most of his course is based on chord progressions. Of course, there's always an element of music writing, but primarily he concentrates on dissecting the chord progression so that it makes it easier for people to orally understand the music and visually relate it to the piano. So let me just play this very beautiful example here.
10th ballad style, a cycle of fifths exercise. In book 4, as part of your chord practice, I explained about a very common occurrence called the cycle of fifths. So you may remember C to F, B flat to E flat, A flat to G flat, and so on. You played a version of that based around the C family chords in book 1. Okay, and so on. So this next chord sequence is based around the cycle of fifths and is great practice for your 10th ballad style. So look at the sheet music and try the left hand. So D minor, 1st, 5th, 10th, or 3rd, so there's D minor. B diminished. Now it's E, it's not E minor, it's E, so you, E minor, is that? G sharp, so you've got to bounce up A minor. So let's try to improvise in the right hand over the top of the chords. And we'll just stick again to chord tones, and let's make up a pattern based around the third of each chord. So there's D minor, so third of D minor, there's G, so let's go down to the B, so the D minor, bounce onto the B, third of C is E, so bounce back down to the E, third of F is A, bounce up onto the A, okay, third of B diminished is D, so bounce back down to it, and then change it slightly, so go down one note onto the third of the E7, back to A. Okay, sounds nice? Keep it simple. So let's try it all together. So the third of D minor, bounce onto the third of G, bounce onto the third of C, and up onto the third of F, back down to the third of B diminished, and onto the third of E.
So there you are. What he's basically doing here, he set the chord progression on the left hand and improvises on the right hand based on the chord progression. So again, this course is mostly based on improvisation. Of course, he keeps it very simple, but essentially that's the idea of the course, and that's one of the things I really, really like about his approach. So, let me move on now to something else. Okay, here we are on the classical section called Taming the Classics, book number 8. So Robin, he covers quite a selection of classics here, as you can see on the sidebar. And he goes over the black keys and the white keys and so on and so forth. And then he starts on his first video, Beethoven. Where is it? Beethoven for Elise. Then there's Bach, Prelude in C. Chopin Waltz in A minor, Rondino, Bach again, Bach, Minuet. Then there's a Vivaldi, Verdi, La Donna Mobile, a little bit of opera, then Strauss, the Blue Danube, Brahms, Hungarian Dance. Most of those versions, those classical pieces, they're very famous. Most of them are famous. They are simplified, actually. Robin, he made a simplification to make it more accessible. Like, for example, this Chopin Mazurka. Chopin pieces are incredibly demanding for any pianist. And so sometimes you need to make them more accessible. Chopin Prelude in E minor, and so on. I chose Erik Satie Gymnopédie number 1 because it's one of the most beautiful, sublime pieces of music. Erik Satie was a French composer and pianist. He wasn't exactly very famous. He became famous after he wrote those pieces. It's a sequence of works, very short works, short pieces for the piano called Gymnopédie number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. So this is one of his most famous Gymnopédies.
This is a beautiful piece. It uses a very repetitive left hand pattern for 16 bars. So it's broken up into different sections. That's the easiest way to remember it. So let's look at the first section with the left hand. So play hands separately as usual. So it starts off with an F to an A minor chord. And really what's happening there's the F. It's an F major 7, but you're just leaving out the root. So you're getting an A minor in the right hand. Then it's going to a C, to an E minor, but really it's a C major 7. Okay. But you're leaving out the root in the right hand. So just observe that. So F, you're really on an F major 7, but you're leaving out the root, which is A minor. You're really up to a C major 7, but leave out the root, which is an E minor. So that's what the pattern is. And that goes on for 16 bars. So when the melody comes in, have your finger ready on the E. You've maybe heard that before. Okay, and then that's repeated.
It's just a little taste of how he approaches classical music, which is basically music is music. I mean, whether you play jazz, blues, ballads, music is music. The only difference between the more mainstream ballads and jazz and pop music is that they're based on a much more simplified sequence of chord progressions, whereas classical music goes through the whole range of what he was talking previously about, the circle of fifth. Okay, so here we are at the end of this review. It's a demonstration, and it's very difficult to pick. Looking here at the sidebar, I mean, he does give quite a number of workouts here, from major to minor scales and arpeggios and everything else. I decided to choose his workout of seventh chords because for the reason that I think it's more relevant to the content, the vast majority of the content of this course, which is it really revolves around jazz and ballads and not so much classical music. So the seventh chords, they are very much used in jazz and blues, and are very useful. Those workouts are very, very useful for anyone who wants to acquire more musical fluency, facility on the piano. Of course, there are hundreds of different workouts for the right hand, for the left hand, but this one is a very good example. So let me just play for you.
Seventh chords workout number 1. First of all, play the C family seventh chords with your left hand. C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, and instead of moving up to the A, drop it down below A minor 7, B diminished, half diminished 7. The reason we dropped down was we're going to do a 2-octave pattern with the right hand. We don't want to have to go too high up the piano. So the right hand is going to play a broken 7th chord over 2 octaves up and down for each chord. Left hand is just going to play the static chord while you play that. So C major 7. Now rather than finish off with the C, that's going to go into the next chord. So watch that. E minor 7 into the E minor 7, F major 7.
So this is it. I hope this video gives you a very good insight on what this Pianoforall is all about. It's a very serious course written by made and produced by a very serious piano teacher and pianist. Take my hat off for you, Robin. Great job. Very accessible. So yes, of course there are limitations to this course, but overall it's a great way for music enthusiasts, amateurs, even students, teenagers, and even very experienced classical musicians like me. I've bought this course because I'm very interested in sort of brushing up on my jazz. I love jazz and I love blues and ballads. So I found a very valid and fascinating work, very useful for all kinds of people, including professional musicians. So thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it sort of it gives you a very good insight on this very interesting course and very valid. And I'm very glad, very happy I found it. And I hope this course will be very useful for many people as well. Hi, one thing I forgot to say, and it's quite important. I forgot to mention that there is a link in the description below that will take you to his website, which is this one you can see on your screen. This is his official website, as you can see. He gives all the information, all the relevant information, and there's one thing to mention which is quite relevant, is the price. As you can see, the price of his piano tuition is $39 US. $39 US, just to give you an idea, won't pay for more than 2 lessons, maximum 3 lessons with any piano teacher. If you're lucky, you get 3 lessons for $39. This Pianoforall course has over 40 hours of lessons time, so it's virtually a 2-year. It depends on, like I said, it depends on the student. It's a 2-year, 2.5, 3-year program. So $39 is great value for the content of this course. So if you're interested in buying this course for yourself, so use my link in the description below to access his website and make a purchase. I'm confident you won't regret it. And so that's it. Thank you very much again, and see you next time. Bye-bye.